With the 81st pick in the NFL draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Christian Haynes, right guard from the University of Connecticut, UConn. And this is a great pick for the Seahawks, a team that needs help on the offensive line. Now, over the offseason, there was a few positions I thought the Seahawks needed some help at, and they made multiple moves to try to add depth at those positions, but it doesn't mean you don't go get somebody, right? So at the end of the day, while the defensive line is looking pretty decent for the Seahawks, they still went ahead and got an interior lineman with the first pick, which Byron Murphy was the right choice. And I did a video about him yesterday right here if you want to watch it. And then today, we look at the offensive line. You have linebackers. We have the safety position. A lot of places that we added a lot of one-year pieces and veterans to see what we can do at that position. But that doesn't stop you from trying to make that position better. And that's what the Seahawks did here with right guard Christian Haynes from UConn. He is an older rookie, and he might be a guy that's actually ready to compete right away. Now, there's going to be a lot of debate on this because I saw people already debating it on Twitter when I said that he could potentially have the starting right guard position. Everyone says, oh, just throw away Anthony Bradford. Maybe Anthony Bradford's moving to left guard. And what I say to that is, there's going to be injuries on the line. We see that every single year, and that's why people have backups, and that's why people get moved around all the time. There's a reason the Seahawks brought in George Fant to potentially be behind Abraham Lucas at right tackle if necessary. And you might move people around all year. At this moment, this is how I personally see the depth chart and the people behind those other guys. Right now at left tackle, I'm simply going to just go with Charles Cross. At left guard, we have Laken Tomlinson and Tremaine Ankrum Jr. I don't know where that's going to stand when it's all said and done. At center, right now we have Olusegun Oluwatimi, however you say it. Right guard, Christian Haynes and Anthony Bradford. And at right tackle, Abraham Lucas with George Fant, who would be the backup there. And you never know if there's an injury at left tackle. Maybe somebody has to fill in there. You fill in whoever you can on the left side, and you move around an injury at right tackle and move something around there. You never know how that's going to work in the NFL. Now let's talk about some of Christian Haynes' college career in general. He could win this right guard spot over Anthony Bradford because he was a long-time right guard at UConn and played a lot of football. He is a little older, as I mentioned. He's 24 years old 2 weeks ago. So entering the season at 24 years old. That was after spending 6 years in college. Redshirted a freshman in 2018. Didn't have football in 2020 because UConn didn't play during the COVID season. And then started 49 games all at right guard in the 4 seasons he played. 2019, it was all 12 games at right guard. 2020 was the COVID season. 2021, all 12 games at right guard. 2022, he was third-team AP All-American, started 13 games at right guard. 2023, he was once again a third-team AP All-American, starting 12 games at right guard. So we're talking about a guy who we're getting in the third round of the draft with the 81st overall pick, who is an AP All-American 2 years in a row. At the end of the day, there's not much more you can ask for at the 81st pick if it ends up working out. A lot of people considered him a great pick here. I didn't see too much disagreement, and obviously that's encouraging. Since 2022, he had 748 pass blocking snaps, 748 opportunities for pass blocking snaps. During those 748, I'm going to keep saying it, he had 15 QB pressures allowed and only 1 sack allowed out of 748. 15 quarterback pressures, 1 sack allowed. At the end of the day, this team, there's going to be a lot, and I mean a lot, of emphasis on protecting Geno Smith, obviously getting this defense to where it needs to get, and obviously getting the run game going along with the pass game going. And the best way to do that always is to have a good offensive line, so they're obviously trying their best to make that happen. And here is some scouting report on the 81st overall pick. He's 6'3", 317 pounds. Haynes is a 4-year starter with good size and range. He is tough, relentless, and gets under defenders' skin. He displaces defenders against the run and walls off backside defenders. Haynes is smooth. Climbing to the second level make him a good fit for zone-heavy schemes. He gets some push and tracks linebackers well on combo blocks. Haynes is also quick, has good length, and can mirror in the pass protection. Overall, he also calls his game smart and nasty at the same time. So we have a versatile guy who believes in himself, and obviously Seahawks believe in him enough to take him at 81. A little fun tidbit on top of everything is he's a big Geno Smith fan, he says, for a long time, saying he became a fan of him when he was in West Virginia playing football. So you have a guy who's already a fan of what's going on in Seattle, and let's see what he can do to protect Geno Smith. We can lastly go through some other metrics and numbers about Christian Haynes. 6'3", 317, 9-inch hands, 33.5 arms, wingspan at 79 3/4. He ran a 5.03 40-yard dash, a 33 vertical, and an 8.6 broad jump. And we're going to go through what I like to do, the positives, the negatives, and some of the notes. Positives: advanced timing, feel, and processing skills show up in all facets of his game. Explodes into contact on drive, double team and base blocks with strong inside hand presence and torquing ability to uproot and secure the first level defender. You could have probably, scouting could have probably put a little less words in that. Expertly navigates his way off combo blocks to the second level, securing the down man before timely releasing the backer. A+ finisher who ties up, strains, and gets last meaningful contact through the echo of the whistle. Assertive, sharp, physical presence against basic line game / stunts, and when uncovered to clear pocket and adjacent rusher. He only has 2 negatives, and that's a lot less than you usually see on these scouting reports online. Mediocre twitch, quickness, and ability shrinks the margin of error with aiming points and hand placement and recovery ability. Limited range on an island against wide rush alignments, which can create short corners, especially against spinners and sub-package rushers. As I said, AP third-team All-American 2 years in a row. He has really turned himself into something special. He was a 2-star recruit in 2018. Remember, UConn football program is in the dumps most of the time. They're always struggling. He was the first Husky, not Washington, but UConn Husky in the program's FBS era to be named an All-American in 2 seasons. So he obviously was something really special for what, UConn Huskies are used to. He obviously went to the Sugar Bowl, or the Senior Bowl, and so he was a big part of, one of those guys that's really important to the team. Now, with the Seahawks in general, I'm not going to tell you that their offensive line is going to be perfect. Like, we have Nick Harris as a backup center, and, we have, all these different things. We don't know if Lakin's going to be there at the right guard or the left guard, or if it's going to be Bradford and vice versa. So there's some complications here, and I think it's just interesting because I know fans, and I consider myself a fan. But fans love to, on Twitter or other places, to tell you they know more than everybody else does. We don't know if the Seahawks see Bradford and Haynes as 2 options. We don't know if they see Lakin and Bradford as the stars. We don't know if we want to put Bradford on the left and Haynes on the right, if they want to start Tremaine Akram. At the end of the day, we need to stop pretending like we know the exact answer. My potential thoughts are just simply Haynes would be the right guard if they're drafting him with their second pick in the draft. And that means either Lakin Tomlinson's going to be left guard, or maybe Bradford. Or maybe they switch Haynes to left and put Bradford at right. At the end of the day, the left and right guard position is less, solidified than the rest of them. I think Olusegun Oluwatimi is definitely the center, because Nick Harris is not coming in to take his job unless they draft somebody. And Charles Cross and Abraham Lucas are obviously there. But they brought in George Fant for a reason, to back up Lucas. He had some injuries this last year. So we'll figure it out. At the end of the day, I hope it all works out. I like the pick. I like the first 2 picks. I said this, before the draft. The only concern I had if they went ahead and took somebody like a corner or a wide receiver, a quarterback, you're not building from the inside out. And building from the inside out, I feel like is what, in the trenches is what makes really teams that good these days. Is build the offensive line, build the defensive line, and we already have a quarterback that's capable. Everything else will start working it out once those interiors, the trenches, are set. So build it inside out. I think that's what the Seahawks are doing, and I'm happy about it. So we'll find out. I love y'all, and as always, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Peace.